Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Model 5. And in this particular model, we shall be looking at OER and Open Pedagogy for this particular week. And in previous weeks, we have looked at XR, we have looked at interactive videos. And this model, we are going to look at open educational resources, which is usually termed OER and Open Pedagogy. So let's quickly move on. So, for the sake of this video in this week, we shall be looking at this agenda. Number one, we shall be looking at defining the open educational research, which is the OER, sorry, and the key features of this particular OER. We shall also be looking at the institutional benefits of OER, understanding how the OER pedagogy or open pedagogy works and its perspectives. And then we shall look at the leading platforms of this particular OER and the implementation status and what the future looks like for this OER and open pedagogy. Now, so what is OER then? So OER, according to Acaweb 2004, is open educational resource, as the acronym seems, and these are educational materials that are freely available for use and adaptation, and as well as distribution across institutions and organizations. And the major features of this open educational resource is that they are number one is that they are freely accessible to all users according to EPSU 2011. They can also be modified and redistributed to whatever, looking at the usage, and if there are things that need to be changed, they can also be that can also be quickly done. One of the major features also is that they promote equity and participatory learning. So learners are also able to engage in this particular materials and to promote some kind of equity in our learning environment across all subjects. Now, the instructional benefits. Now, number one of this instructional benefits for the OER is that it increases educational access since it's always available to people. They are freely available online and allow students everywhere in any part of the world and at any time to access them this high quality learning materials. And it helps remove geographical and economical barriers in educational resources. So anybody anywhere, as long as the person has access to the internet, the person can easily access them freely, so that there will not be any barrier of material resources as to how to access them and the difficulty of getting materials to learn and all that. And this will remove that kind of barrier that people no longer have excuses that I don't have this to learn, I don't have to this to learn. Once everybody has access to internet, and of course in this 21st century, almost everybody has a mobile phone and has an internet. So once you have a mobile phone, you don't have any excuse. You just move on to the internet and online to access these open educational resources, which are very of good quality and high quality learning materials to help remove that kind of barrier and challenges in terms of economics and people in rural, urban, and as well as people in the mid-urban city geographical areas. Everybody can have access to them, and it makes learning easier and accessible to all. Number two is that it reduces the cost for students. Gone are the days when we were in college in Ghana. You have to buy most of the teaching and learning materials and pamphlets and handouts from lecturers, which was sometimes a lot of burden for students. And by replacing these expensive textbooks with OER or open educational resources, students are able to get out to avoid financial burdens associated with traditional materials, like I mentioned, leading to significant savings and improve affordability in higher education. So sorry, this will help to reduce a lot of cost. Teachers and students will no longer be burdened to buy materials from lecturers or teachers or faculty members to be able to pass exams. And sometimes it becomes so bad that even learners have to pay you if you don't buy a textbook or you don't buy a handout from a lecturer or a teacher. You may not get a certain grade or a certain mark in that particular course, which is bad. So all this helps to eliminate those kind of corruption and bribery stuff that hinders people from learning and getting whatever they are required, as long as they do the right thing and they go through the learning process. So with this, you don't have any excuse. You're not buying anything, so you are reducing cost. And of course, no faculty member or teacher has a right to threaten you that if you don't buy my material, you're not going to get this grade. It gives that kind of freedom and openness for the learners to get what they want and get what they deserve in terms of their grading and affordability in higher education. The third benefit of instructional benefits of OER is that it also allows instructors to tailor materials to learners' needs. So they are able to organize the materials to foster pedagogy flexibility and innovation, according to David Whaley in 2014. So because the materials are open ended, everybody has the leverage and the freedom to choose from whatever they want to learn. And this allows the learners to choose what they want and how they want it what they want to see in a particular material before they get interested in learning it. So it allowed the instructors to tailor these materials that they want learners to learn towards their needs. So whatever you might have sold, if there's a policy of the school to have it in open educational resources, then you just put that in that uh, platform for learners to have access to it rather than compelling them to buy it before they can pass an exam. What is open pedagogy? We have looked at the open educational resource. Now we want to move on to the open pedagogy. So open pedagogy refers to the approaches that utilize open resources and practices to foster collaboration, sharing, and student creation of knowledge, according to edX 2017. So the process of using these open resources and practices to foster collaboration and sharing is what is refers to as open pedagogy. And open pedagogy perspectives, we definitely have about, let's say, a few of them. And the perspectives are, for example, the first one is the 5 R's. So, which is built on so the open pedagogy is built on 5 R's, which talks about retain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. And this is according to EdTech 2017. So the first R stands for retrain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. That's the one perspective of the open pedagogy. We also have another perspective, which is more of on less like the active or activity based learning. So we move beyond consumption to active, just not just memorization and writing assessment, but we move beyond that to move on to consumption or active student led participation. So instead of being the teacher just being a lecturer or someone who just come and give instructions and just pour out knowledge and go, this perspective of open pedagogy gives us the opportunity that we have to move on from that and move towards student active learning, which involves a lot of interactions and hands-on activities. And the last perspective that was given by David Willey was that open pedagogy practices that leverage openness for innovative teaching and learning. So it gives the teacher or the instructor the opportunity to bring on or to improvise and bring some kind of openness in terms of innovation and in the teaching and learning process. Now, the major OER platforms that we have. So the major ones that we can talk about are the OER Commons, which are a comprehensive digital literature offering licensed teaching and learning resources. And we can talk about the second one, which is from Rice University Open Tracks. It's also a non-profit initiative providing high quality peer reviewed open license textbook free online at a lower cost in print. And the third one, we can have the Cal State System Melot, which is also a multimedia educational resource for learning and online teaching, which we call it the Merilot. It has an open collection for free and peer-reviewed digital resources. And the last but not the least is the Kenya Melon Open Learning Initiative, which is usually referred to as the OLI. It's also an open. It also offers openly available resources based on online courses and course materials. And the OLE uses online science to design its resources, providing interactive and adaptive tools to improve student learning and support instructors in terms of their content delivery. Additional OER initiatives can be the Haiti Trust Digital Library. We can also have the institutional repositories and discipline collections, and we can also have the open movement from the UK and globally. Now, the implementation status of OER is that in the United States, for example, between 2003 and 2004, 2023 and 2024, we saw about 56% of US higher education faculty who were aware of this open educational resource, and 29% use the OER as required course materials. This is by Bayview Analytics in 2024. And at the workplace also, we will see the implementation is growing, but it faces some kind of barriers in terms of finding resources and educational support. And for locally and internationally, we can talk about the fact that the local adaptation varies in terms of it's increasing steadily, and we know that in the future is going to increase to a higher capacity. And so, in terms of the future, OER and open pedagogy drive education towards a greater sharing, adaptability, and equity. And I think that continuous updates of learner-driven design and support in terms of open pedagogy is something that is going to help us in the future. We might be thinking of how we might advance open pedagogy and OER, OER, sorry, in our context wherever we find ourselves, and I think it will help a lot. So these are the references that I use for this particular presentation. I think that may be too long, but thank you so much for paying attention and listening to me. And I will see you in our Module 6 in the next video. Cheers.